The third and last basic step consists in setting the interface options and configure the online change parameters feature. For each processor interface, it is necessary to set all the parameters and information needed by EICASLAB for generating the real-time basic software that will manage the interfaces during the RCP on-field trials. For instance, if we consider the processor input that is in charge of receiving the measured position of the ball on the plate, by clicking on it, a configuration window gets open. This window contains all the settings and, in details, it is possible to 1. To have the possibility to ask for a post-processing function of the data. After receiving the information, in fact, a first elaboration can be useful, for instance, for checking the data integrity. 2. To set the synchronous or asynchronous mode. In asynchronous mode, the interface runs alone in a single thread and continuously waits for the arriving data. In synchronous mode, instead, the interface can be scheduled with the other functions, and the receiving function it is periodically called. 3. To reassign the thread number for this specific interface. 4. To set the interface type. In this case, the selected interface is Ethernet. 5. To have the possibility to ask for a customized acknowledge or packing function. The acknowledge function is a custom function that, starting from the result of the receiving operation, creates a message of acknowledge that is sent back. The packing function is a custom function that elaborates the stream of arriving data and extracts the pack of variables. For example, in this use case, the data that arrives through the Ethernet connection is a stream of bytes, so it is necessary a packing function for elaborating the stream and extracting the pack of variables. If this option is not enabled, EICASLAB generates a default function that converts the stream on the basis of the graphical connection of the block. To be noticed that unlike the post-processing function, the acknowledge and packing functions are not executed in simulation, but only in RCP mode. Finally, in the bottom half of the window, all the settings specifically related to the selected interface are made available. In particular, in this use case, it is possible to find the user device, the driver module, the implemented protocol, the IP addresses and port, the subnetwork mask, and the timeout on connection. When all the interfaces have been set up, through the master tool it is possible to open the RCP Manager parameter window. By means of this window, the user defines a set of parameters that can be changed asynchronously during the trial execution. In this use case, we have inserted the trajectory and its parameters for modifying the trajectory during the real-time execution. Now the system is ready for loading the real-time modules into the Linux kernel. After that, we can compile the project and launch the RCP Manager, a professional tool that offers an easy and friendly graphical user interface useful for controlling and managing the RCP process in real time, enabling diagnostic reports with the aim to warn about possible faults or problems arising during the RCP trial execution, visualizing on the screen the dynamic behavior of the variables of interest for a real-time monitoring, recording on the PC disk all the variables of interest for a post-analysis through the post tool, or for performing the offline repetition through the slow motion tool. And finally, commanding and modifying parameters during the real-time execution. At this point, we are ready to press the Start button for running the RCP trial. As you can see, the amazing ball platform starts to move according to the trajectory commanded by the RCP platform. In this case, the trajectory is a circle covered roughly in 3 seconds. The user can follow the trial evolution from the plotting areas that in this use case are plotting all the significant variables previously set by the user. It is important to remember that the control algorithms run in real time into the RCP platform. Therefore, the RCP platform is truly commanding the ball position on the plate. Moreover, the RCP manager allows the user to interact with the trials by changing some predefined parameters. In fact, as previously shown, before launching the RCP manager, the developer can define some parameters that during the trials can be changed asynchronously by means of the Change Parameters panel. For example, it's possible to change the desired trajectory and set a trapezoidal waveform. Or, another choice is a fixed point in the middle of the plate. To be noticed that the same behavior can be obtained by activating the mission block called User, and by pre-programming the trajectory changing during the trial execution. On the bottom right of the window, the RCP Manager tool provides also additional features for supervising the trial execution, that are a window for showing debug or status messages coming from the control strategies, a window for showing errors and critical messages from the real-time layer, a window for taking notes about the performed trials, and a web report on the trial results that can be opened once the trial is finished. The HTML report summarizes the trial configuration and results in terms of maximum, minimum, and average execution time for different threads and control function, and points out immediately if the time constraints have been respected, in green color, or not, in red color. When the trial is completed, a more deep and accurate analysis on the results can be performed by means of the post tool available in EICASLAB. Exactly alike to what was done during the modeling and like real-time phase, through the Sim Builder tool the developers can set up the EICASLAB for recording on the disk files containing all the variables of interest that allows the overall control tuning. Therefore, during the RCP on-field trial, for each block, a post file is created containing the recorded values of each variable. Concluded the trial, the post tool can be used for opening these files and analyzing in detail the temporal trend of the recorded variables. At this point, the RCP on-field submode is concluded, and it is possible to switch toward the slow-motion submode that will be presented in the next webinar. Thank you for the attention.